Democrats are in full panic mode as the Save America Act gains unstoppable momentum, and their desperate lies about voter ID are crumbling faster than their woke narrative. A California council member just exposed the shocking truth about how easy it is to get onto voter rolls without any citizenship proof whatsoever. But wait until you hear how Republicans just demolished their biggest talking point. So this isn't just about election integrity. This is about whether your vote will ever matter again. Right now in states like California, anybody can get registered to vote without proving they're a citizen. They're added to voter rolls over and over with zero cross-referencing. And that means your voice as a legal American citizen gets diluted by people who shouldn't even be voting. Politically, Democrats know they're losing this fight badly. 83% of Americans support voter ID, including most Democrats. Chuck Schumer is so desperate he's calling it Jim Crow 2.0, the same tired playbook they've always used when Americans demand common sense. For what it matters, let me share something deeply personal that changed everything for my family. For years, my wife battled chronic pain and anxiety from her diagnosis. Endless doctor visits, treatments that didn't help, watching her struggle daily. It broke my heart. Then Jonathan Otto introduced red light therapy. Her pain vanished, anxiety lifted, she became herself again. Red light therapy uses specific wavelengths to heal at the cellular level, reducing inflammation, boosting energy, and improving sleep. While Democrats distract us with their lies, we can take control of our health naturally. No big pharma, no side effects, just real healing. The same establishment lying about voter ID wants you dependent on their medical systems forever. Do not let them control your health like they're trying to control our elections. But here's where it gets really good. Republicans just destroyed the Democrats' biggest lie about the SAVE Act. Democrats claim married women would be disenfranchised because they've changed their names. Right, that's completely wrong. The SAVE Act actually allows states to accept marriage certificates as proof of name changes. It takes just a few clicks online to get one, and Democrats are so desperate to stop election integrity, they're making up problems that don't even exist. We're going to get into this today, guys. So I will say, all right, so I don't know if anybody's educated on this, but I'm going to say this before we get going. Every congressional district in the country is comprised of about 750,000 voters. Illegal immigrants are counted in the census. The census directly reflects how many congressional appointments or how many congressional seats are per state. So Illinois, if we've got, let's say I live in Illinois, so we got 750,000. So if we have 3 million illegal immigrants, that's 4 congressional seats. If Trump deported all 4 of them, or the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Trump saying they can't count it in the census, Illinois loses 4 congressional seats on the front. 30 million illegal immigrants across the country, looking at 40 seats. That's a lot of power. Democrats will not have the presidency for the next 30 years. This is why they're willing to die on this hill. So Melanie Collin, MPA, stated, the voter ID debate is heating up fast. And she says, Wake Up America, early Newsmax to discuss Trump's claim, executive action, and the SAVE Act. Let's check it out.
President Trump, he took to Truth Social Friday night, saying in part, quote, the Democrats refuse to vote for voter ID or citizenship. The reason is very simple. They want to continue to cheat in elections. There will be voter ID for the midterm elections, whether approved by Congress or not. Whoa.
And I think once he does that, we're going.
Back down.
President Trump, he took to Truth Social Friday night, saying in part.
I had to skip around, guys.
Are undocumented here illegally are actually voting. And the part that I resent the most about this whole push against the SAVE Act is this narrative that it's going to negatively affect women and black and brown people. I happen to be a woman and a black woman, a black person. And guess what? I have a whole passport. I have a government issued driver's license. And guess what? I even had a name change during the course of my lifetime. Actually, a couple of name changes, to be honest with you. And everything is fine. I've always been able to vote. So I hate this. I hate that, again, they are using black people to suggest that that Republicans are racist and conservatives are racist, just because we would like to have some elections and make sure that they are valid and that people who are not supposed to be voting aren't voting.
I think they need to stop the entire thing about trying to challenge the elections and all these other stuff. Let us do it. I mean, how many Supreme Court, how many cases were brought out about this and it was shot down due to unscrupulous events and all these other things? And this sets up our entire story. Viewer passion is already boiling over as Trump pushes executive action to save it. We have Create Life Consciously. Please, please, please get the SAVE Act passed ASAP. And we have Gunther Engelman saying, it's time. Senate Majority Leader for Republicans John Thune is receiving massive pressure from Americans to get the SAVE Act passed. This week, call him. He needs to hear from everybody. If you guys go online, look up his phone number, look at everybody else, and get them out there to vote. Let's get this passed. Let's get this done. Let's get it handled for our midterms. And the grassroots energy is exploding into direct demands on Congress, where Republicans are making a bigger constitutional argument. From Kevin Sorbo, it says Republicans have been robbed of 18 House seats because illegals are counted in the census. Exactly what I was just saying. The second the Supreme Court rules that they can't be counted in the census, watch the entire narrative from the Democrat Party on every single level flip. They're not going to care. They're going to want them all deported. They're going to want all of these things to happen immediately following that decision because it no longer politically benefits them. And in the meantime, they're disenfranchising their African-American voters by closing it south side of Chicago. They're closing schools down. They're saying, hey, we don't have enough money for this school. They tell the kids they go from that school, they ship them 45 minutes away, then find $3 to $5 million somewhere, and then renovate the school and stick a bunch of illegals in it. Watch.
The American people and the census manipulation that Democrats have been using to influence American elections for years. In 2018, Republican leadership, including the president himself, called for a citizenship question to be included in the 2020 census reports. To no one's surprise, when the Democrats took control, these requests went unanswered, and the question of citizenship was waived. But the fact remains that the concept of sanctuary cities and radical blue states ignoring immigration law and using the illegal population to manipulate the lines of congressional districts is, in fact, unconstitutional. Not only are there severe constitutional concerns from the inclusion of illegal immigrants, but the Census Bureau admitted to having made several, quote, errors in their 2020 census report. Convenient, seeing that as in 2020, Donald Trump was on top of the ticket. In 2020, the Bureau undercounted in primarily deep red states such as Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas, all red, while overcounting in radical left blue states like Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, and Rhode Island. This egregious error led to many states being denied proper representation in Congress and the Electoral College. So much so that these errors cost Republicans not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 seats in the House. In addition to the 2020 miscounting, including illegal immigrants in the census has improperly granted radical left blue states 12 additional seats in the United States House of Representatives. It's a total of 18 seats gained. That is a huge problem, and those are the facts. Mr. Mayfield, thank you so much for being here. So I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
This is the whole deal. This is the whole deal that they have. They have to have these people counted. They couldn't win the other way because they knew the country after 9/11 was going a certain direction towards conservatives because we wanted safety, security. We want to know who's in our country. We want to know. I want to know. If you guys want to know, let me know in the comments too. I like knowing who people are when they come in here. I don't want terrorist attacks or other things happening inside of our country from unvetted people crossing the border. We're going to get into the next one. Now we're seeing the constitutional claims turn into direct pressure on Senate leadership. This is moving from theory to action. From Dreamer says, Leader John Thune, please pass the Save America Act. We have a republic to save. Please be strong, filibuster, or get rid of the filibuster. And I'm hoping to God that they're going to vote on this soon. We have my friend Scott Pressler on here, day 47 of asking Leader Thune to pass the Save Act. He's got everybody's happy with him. He's out there killing it. But this has to happen. Otherwise, all of the efforts of Scott Pressler and everybody in your local township Republican organizations and probably Democrat organizations in some states, they want voter ID because they want transparency and they want accountability. It lets us know as American citizens that everything is being done to snuff, that it's being done the right way, and we don't have any ambiguity in what's happening. It says, while the Senate Republicans face pressure, Democrats are dealing with their own crisis. Actual evidence of registration problems. From Wall Street Apes, wow, Democrat Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold sent out 30,000 mailers to illegals telling them to register to vote. They knew who they were, and they sent out 30,000 mailers telling them to get out there and vote. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens.
Final question. This is not the first time that your office has made mistakes that have damaged voters' confidence in our elections. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens inviting them to register to vote. They, of course, are not eligible to register to vote. That same year, your office used Colorado's ballot tracking system to send messages to specific Coloradans encouraging them to vote when, in fact, they had already voted, causing confusion that had to be cleaned up by the county clerks. And now this leak of the voting system passwords. Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not, Kyle. And I just want to, you're unfairly characterizing and leaving out some crucial information.
Okay, the fact that you're lying and you're not doing your job, the Secretary of State's job is to make sure that all the documents are in order and that everybody's paying attention and all the paperwork's correct. Instead of pushing political ideology and shoving things out there that people don't want, do the one job you're elected to do. It says this polling data puts Schumer in an impossible position. Even his own party supporters want voter ID requirements. From Defiant Elves, it says CNN is now calling out Chuck Schumer because 83% of Americans, 83%. That's not a fake number. That's not a made up number. They support voter ID. Even CNN's talking about it. Watch.
About 83% of the American people, including majority Democrats, support voter ID laws.
Well, yeah, the voter ID laws that first, each state can have its own voter ID laws, and some do and some don't. But secondly, what they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law. We will not let it pass in the Senate. We are fighting it tooth and nail. It's an outrageous proposal that is, that shows the sort of political bias of the MAGA right. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote because they often don't vote for them.
I want to see in the comments, how many people don't have an ID? If you guys are watching this video anywhere in the world, if you have an ID, I've got an ID. If you don't, say it. Because I don't know a single person in my entire adult life since I've been a child that doesn't have an ID. If you guys want to go to the movies, need an ID. If you guys want to get cigarettes, got to get an ID. You want to get alcohol, get an ID. You want to fly on an airplane, you need an ID. You want to drive a car, got to have an ID. And if you can't have a driver's license, you still have a state ID. Because if a cop needs to identify you, you have to have a state ID. There's a lot of laws about that too. So sitting here and telling the American people that they don't know how to have an ID and women don't know how to change their names after getting married, it's outrageous. Every woman knows how to do that. If not, there's plenty of resources on the getting that done. It says Republicans just scored a major victory by destroying the Democrats' strongest talking point against the SAVE Act. From Eric Daughtry, congressional Republicans just dismantled a massive Democrat lie meant to defeat the Save America Act. Married women would be disenfranchised because they changed their last name. Turns out the Save America Act lets states set up marriage certificates as part of it. Check this out.
Well, we have a fact check on this one, too. First, let's note that under the Save America Act, states will have the option to set their own discretionary process. They may accept both a birth certificate and a marriage certificate to provide proof of name change. And guess what? I recently got a new marriage certificate, too. It was also quite easy. We're showing you the process on your screen right now. Again, just a few clicks, just a few minutes. And we've debunked those concerns of the left.
But you know what? Their voting base is not that intelligent. They don't know. I mean, they're like, you see the people out there, the purple, pink hair guys that you could tell them that the sky is purple and that blue is actually purple. And they'll believe it. These people believe it because they have to. They're all part of this cult that's out there. And the California revelation shows exactly why Republicans say the SAVE Act is urgently needed nationwide. This is insane. So from Derek Evans, says, watch, a Huntington Beach council member reveals California does not require voter ID at the polls. Calls are growing for stronger election security and voter ID protections nationwide. Check this out.
Go to the DMV and you get a driver's license or an ID, you register to vote, you do not need any citizenship to do that. When you get any benefits in the state of California, they send you a voter registration card. You do not need to show any ID or proof of citizenship to do that. Then you're on the voter rolls. Those voter rolls, they keep adding people on over and over and over again, and nobody's cross-referencing IDs on those voter rolls. So when you talk to Bob Page on a local level or any local registrar of voters, they're going to say, well, yeah, we've got a really great operation on site. We're just taking what Sacramento gives us in regards to the rules. We can't ask for ID on site, or we can't cross-reference ID. So the problem isn't ours anymore, right? It's that diffusion of responsibility. So the reality is Sacramento's got the problem in their hands, and they're avoiding it by pushing it around. So that's the manner in which we need to talk about this subject. It is 100% fact that you do not need to prove any citizenship to get voter registration in California.
Could not agree more. And if you go to states like Minnesota, California, Michigan, Illinois, also, when you get your driver's license, they automatically register you. And when you automatically get registered to vote, they automatically mail you your ballot. They don't verify, they don't triple check, they don't do any of those things. This happens every single day across the entire country. And they say that it's limited and it doesn't happen often. We all know that's garbage. We know that's absolutely trash, that it does happen. And then when you go up to, I'm trying to go back and see if I can reference this. So I want to play the second part of this.
The American people.
Because it's very important. So there's a little bit more to it.
The American people and the census manipulation.
If it'll jump.
The American people and the census
Maybe
manipulation.
So anyways, it didn't want to load here. But it's talking about how states get elected. So when you sign up to get your driver's license, illegal immigrants can get driver's license in Illinois and California. You see the CDL crises happening all across this country. The second they get that thing inside of their hand, they're registered to vote. And it's so incredibly insane. If you guys have any stories locally, make sure you send them in to us. Send us a video clip or photo proof. We'd love to talk about it. But even now, CNN is calling out Chuck Schumer because the polling is so overwhelmingly against Democrats on this issue. When you've lost CNN on voter ID, you've lost America. Schumer's Jim Crow 2.0, Historia isn't working anymore. Americans see right through it. The SAVE Act is happening, and Democrats know their election manipulation schemes are about to end. But here's the bottom line. Democrats oppose voter ID because they need election chaos to win. And every single time you take out somebody that shouldn't be in this country, their votes are going to go up. And they're going to lose congressional seats when you remove the illegals. They want them to vote. They want them apportioned. So right now it's 276 to win. If you take out 40 congressional seats from Democrats on the illegals being counted in the census, they won't win a presidency until 2070 or 2080. And they can't win on their policies, so they need a system where citizenship doesn't matter at all and verification doesn't exist. It's the perfect thing for them. The SAVE Act threatens their entire power structure, and that's exactly why we need to pass it immediately. It should have been passed decades ago. And when 83% of Americans agree on something, including most Democrats, that's not partisan. It's common sense. Even the Democrats want to know that their votes are counting the right way. And the only people fighting voter ID are the ones who benefit from voter fraud. So do you guys think requiring proof of citizenship to vote is just basic common sense? Let me know in the comments. And while you guys are engaging, check out the Next News merch shop online and wear the Next News merch with pride.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.